Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. There's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
Hey everybody, it's Tuesday night. Time for another live Wicked Horror Show. I'm Kevin, and as always, I'm joined by the lovely Tony Has Nine Fingers.
What is going on, people?
And we have a guest tonight, but she's running a little late. So who's going to be joining us later?
Tyler Charly. She's does a little bit of everything. She's a model, she's an actress, she's a dancer and stuff like that. I saw her on TikTok, a fellow TikToker.
Yeah,
so
she's very successful on TikTok and on Instagram. She was doing a live, and then she got to talking. She was an actress, and then I looked her up on IMDb, and a lot of the stuff that she's in. This is her first. The Black Box is her first feature-length film, but a lot of the other stuff she did was short. A lot of shorts, and it all dealt with like thriller type thing. And how many times do we say on here that the beauty of horror is you have how many different genres or subgenres that what is up, Serge? It's up, Serge.
That fall under that category. So like, why not?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, the thrillers are the ones that really get you going anyways. You know, those are the ones that get my heart pumping, are the thrillers. So
because a lot of the times too with thrillers, it's like things that can actually happen.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, this isn't
usually
out of the realm of possibility is something like this happening, rather than sometimes it's like a blood fest or a gore fest or something like that, and it's like, I don't think this could actually happen, but
yeah. Speaking of full-length features, have you checked out anything recently that's you think is worth sharing with people that aren't? I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be horror. You know, it could be something. Serge, we do have a guest. She's just running a little bit late. She's going to be joining us in a little bit. But I mean, I've checked out a documentary recently because someone on Instagram, I don't even follow, said that it was very well done and it would piss you off and all this other stuff. So I watched it and she was right. And I also, another movie that's not a horror movie at all that I think I talked to you a little bit about, but has there been anything recently that you've checked out?
It's older technically. I mean, it did finally come out to like streaming and stuff, but I finally checked out The Sound of Freedom, which was, not mind blowing because I kind of knew stuff was like going on like that. The numbers are staggering for sure, but that was a movie I was interested. It's pretty much child trafficking. So it follows these two young kids that the father brings them to like a photo shoot type deal. And what he doesn't realize is these people are kidnapping kids and bringing them to, these different places to get. So the person's like, listen, you can't be here. You got to, go away. And then, so it was like a couple hours. He comes back and the room is completely empty. So now his kids are gone. And then this guy from America ends up taking the case and then going through bells and whistles to get around it. So it's crazy. It was like, and it's based on a true story. So
that's the other thing. Usually I think like sometimes you have the suspension of disbelief, where you're like, all right, well, at least this isn't based on a true story. But then when you hear it is, it's like, crap. Then you're like, well, hopefully this part isn't based on true, and hopefully this part isn't true. But then you find out that it is, and you're like, God damn it. That kind of stuff. See, that's not child trafficking, but anything that messes with kids always gets to me, because kids are the most innocent people in the world. They're still.
Well, you hear, what's that one lady that just got released from prison because her and her boyfriend killed a mother that was whatever syndrome that is, where the mother would pretend that she was sick all the time and give her stuff to make her sick.
Mhm.
And then when they got older, they killed the mother, and she went to jail for a lot less than the boyfriend went to.
Yeah.
But that too was like your mental health and stuff. But
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
that one was, like I said, I knew it always happens and stuff, but the numbers for that was staggering. And I was like, it's crazy how, even when I was younger, my parents said they brought me to get pictures done and stuff. And they're like, when they watch it, they're like, we didn't even think about that at
Those
that
are
point in
regular
time.
things.
That
Yeah. Well, that's the
because
thing is when you were a kid and when I was a kid, legit, if it was not if it was nice enough out and it was the light out, I was not in the house, and my parents didn't know where I was, but I had to be home before, by the time it was dark, and they had no idea what I was doing. No idea. Like they would get home from work and I wouldn't be there. They had zero idea if I even came home, none of that stuff, because that's how it was back then. It just makes
but
you
I
feel.
think it's also but I think it's also the fact that when we were younger, we had a little bit more sense to us, I
We
think.
did.
I mean, I
Well,
don't want to give us too much credit
yeah.
because I've done a lot of stupid stuff.
Oh,
But
totally. Yeah.
nowadays, I don't think kids could handle anything
Right.
that, but one, they're not good with communications because half of them are just playing video games,
Right.
so they wouldn't be able to handle, like when we were younger, like I said, we were dumb, but at least we had some sense to us and like some,
Yeah. Plus, I think back then people just didn't care as much. Parents
Mhm.
didn't care as much. I think that's why parents care extra hard now, is because they don't want to come across like parents did when they were kids, because it really did seem like, because I'll be honest with you, like I didn't get to see my parents all that much when I was growing up because they worked so much, and I would get home, eat dinner, do my homework, go to bed, so there wasn't a lot of family time in the Crook household. But anyways,
But I think
go ahead.
go ahead.
No, I was going to bring up that documentary.
No,
So
go ahead.
it's called it's on HBO, called Great Photo Lovely Life. And someone's like, "Oh, it's done really well. It is a horrible story, but it's done really well." And like literally, I've never wanted to physically assault an elderly person ever in my life until watching this movie. I'm like, holy crap. So it's basically a story of this girl who's like a photojournalist dealing with her sexual assault from when she was a child. She was sexually assaulted by her grandfather. Okay. So she starts doing this documentary. So she wasn't the only one that was sexually assaulted. Her mother was, her sister was, like everyone in the family was, every female was. His wife knew about it the whole time. He was very controlling, like forced her to change her name because he didn't like her name. And he was a chiropractor, and kids would be in the office, whatever. He's like, "Oh, you brought your girl. I'll go check her spine real quick," and he would molest them, and parents had no idea. Yeah, so there's like, and he got away with it. He died an old man, like in an old folks home. Got away with it. He went to jail, I think he got charged with one, and he went to jail. He was sentenced to 4 years, got out in like 2.5 for good behavior. But then it continued. What he did is he just moved to another state, and it just continued.
Wouldn't you have to then?
It was back in the day. Back in the day, it disappeared as soon as he left the state. Crazy.
Nowadays, if there's anything, you have to register and all that stuff. And
this was before those times. But yeah, the
Yeah,
dude, like, so literally some of the like the grandchildren that are now adults wrote like letters, and she had to read them to him, and he's just like, "Oh, I'm really sorry." He's like, "Oh, this person, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that letter. I don't care, whatever." Like, and then he's sitting there, they're talking about, I was like, "Well, I took a tub with this girl. She was 5, but she loved it." Like, I'm like, I want to rip this guy in half right now. I want to rip him in half. Like, it was done very well. It's on HBO. If you can deal with that kind of stuff, like it was made very well, and it was kind of hard to fathom that dude could go and die of old age, like living his life. Meanwhile, there's people that he destroyed their lives. Like these people turned to drugs, turned to all, whatever. He destroyed these people's lives. And he, was fine. So that's a very, sometimes a good documentary will mess you up. And that one did.
Yeah. That was, I started watching those cold case files on Netflix.
Yeah.
And some of those were just like, 20, 30 years go by and the person, was living a normal life. Then they finally got theirs in the end. But then there was one where it was like, oh, the person passed away of whatever, but it's still, they never got charged with it.
They were partying and he had too much of a good time. He had a heart attack. Yeah. But on a brighter note, I do want to bring up the Poor Things that I saw in the theater. Me and my wife went to the theater probably about a week ago, maybe a little over a week ago, to see Poor Things. And I didn't know anything about it because I don't watch regular TV. And I watched the trailer. I'm like, this movie looks crazy. It does not look like a movie that she would like, because she is very, kind of, she's not as adventurous as I am when it comes to movies, because it's a very strange movie, but it was really, really good. It was probably my favorite movie so far. I know we're not that far into the year, but it's my favorite movie that I've seen so far this year, and it is insane. It's got Emma
Stone, right?
Emma Stone, yeah, Emma Stone, and she's amazing in it. I think she's already won some awards for it. But yeah, she was absolutely amazing in it. And you see her character progress as a human throughout the movie, and it was just done really well. And I can't wait for that to be available to purchase, because it's one that it's going to go on my wall. It was really good.
Good to know.
Yeah. I mean, I just really dug it, but that movie adventure was not so great after all, because we went to the movies for 4:30 and it was very cold that day. It had snowed like the day before. And we got out of the theater and my wife's car wouldn't start. So we called AAA and we didn't get home until, actually, I think it was getting close to midnight. I want to say by the time we were getting home, maybe.
Wow.
I think they didn't show up until it was after 10 when they showed up. And then my wife just took her time driving home. And then what we had to do is we had to drop her car off at a shop. So we went home. I picked up my car. She went to the shop. I went to the shop, and we, whatever we did, what we had to do. By the time we got home, it was probably getting close to midnight or around midnight. But yeah, it was.
And that was from 4:30 in the afternoon.
Yeah, we went to the movies at 4:30 in the afternoon. It's a good thing me and my wife like to be around each other, because you were
around each other a lot.
We were in front at the movie theater, like inside the movie theater, and the sidewalk was very slippery, so we were just trying to keep count of people that were falling. So, but it wasn't that many. Unfortunately, it wasn't that many. There was a lot of people in flip flops too. I was like, what? Flip flops and shorts? I'm like, it's like 18 degrees out, and it's like still
tourists.
No, it's that theater gets a lot of Indian. There's a lot, like a large Indian population around this, so they get Indian movies there. And there was some bigger like Indian, like Bollywood kind of movie that was there. So it was all Indian people that were wearing flip flops. Some kids were wearing Crocs with no socks, and I'm like, God damn it, how can you do it? I can't do it. I'm freezing and I'm inside. How are you doing this? But yeah. So other than that, there was a movie that Ryan from That Strange Show, or formerly from That Strange Show, he had asked me if I'd seen it. Was it All Neighbors Must Be Destroyed, or something like that?
Is that the one with the no? That's something different.
Let me see.
I think that was there's something in the garage or something. That was a horror movie film, I think, with little gnomes.
Oh, it says Destroy All Neighbors is the name of it.
Sounds like a Shudder.
It is. It's on Shudder. Yep. He's asking if Tyler's coming on. She's supposed to be. We're just waiting for her to show up. We don't know. Hopefully soon. Have you messaged her recently, Tony?
Hold on one second.
Maybe where is she at? You know where she's located?
Cali.
So maybe she's confused with the time change.
No, she said her Wi-Fi went out. She lives in the mountains, had to drive down to get service. I know it's horrible timing. Is there any way to do the invert later tonight? Or so her Wi-Fi's out. So I guess it's not only you. Well, you're on your Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not in California. Just let her know that it's a live show. So unfortunately, we're live right now. But so sorry, Leland. It doesn't look like she's coming on. So I apologize. You can take off if you'd like. But he's messaging her right now. That stinks. I wanted to hear about this movie because there's nothing about it. Like, there's just an IMDb for it. There's no synopsis. I want to know about it. I want to know what she's up to. She's got quite a following on Instagram and on TikTok. She's verified everywhere. I want to know more about it. But anyways, so Leland, before you take off, is there any that's no worries. I'm friends with her. Oh, he's friends with her. So I don't know. Maybe she can go to your house and use your Wi-Fi or something. I don't know. But yeah, she's supposed to be on. I apologize. But I don't know. So that neighbors, whatever that neighbors one I just brought up that I already forgot the name of. It is a Shudder. It's on Shudder. Destroy All Neighbors. Yeah. And I guess it's a splatter fest, which is good. But it's the guy who took over on MST3K, Noah, what's his face? Or Jonah something. But
they're the ones who did what? Summer of '84?
I think so. But Thomas Lennon is also in it. And I love me some Thomas Lennon, also known as Dangle from Reno 911 and many other things. He also was the guy who remade that Puppet Master. That was pretty awesome. So I didn't know I haven't been on Shudder in a little bit, so I didn't know anything about it. So that's going to be on my list. But
maybe tomorrow I'll watch it because actually the next 2 days I'm off of work because I have some kind of viral infection. Went to the doctor today. It wasn't COVID.
Yeah.
So no COVID in my system, but
that's good.
I have a fever and stuff like that. So the next 2 days I'll be on pumped in medication and I go back to work Friday. So I'll be looking for stuff to to watch.
Yeah.
The one thing too, or it's weird to say it, but I think they're friends. The guys from Fuzz on the Lens.
Oh yeah.
Their movie Stream is coming out. He posted on the I forget what is it, either Rue magazine or one of the bigger horror magazines around.
Yeah.
They posted the top 10 most anticipated horror films of 2024.
Yep.
Terrifier 3 is on it, of course.
Yeah.
And Scream is the other one. So I'm excited for that.
That's awesome.
I remember having them on for it a while ago, like middle of last year. So that's the one thing. Whenever we have people on, and sometimes it just takes, that much longer than I want to wait for a movie to come out.
One thing I wanted to bring up too, I was going to bring it up at the end of the show, but since I didn't, because I didn't want to do it in front of the guest, but the people behind Crawl or Die have a podcast now. The Mohawk, was it Mohawk and the Beard or something like that? Yeah. So that's awesome. Yeah. Nicole Alonso and I'm forgetting his name.
Yeah.
It's a cool name too. Dakota something.
I can't. Yeah.
It's Dakota something. I just forget. But they're very, very awesome. Crawl or Die was really cool.
Because they're supposed to be making a trilogy with it. So the second one eventually come out and then it'll be third one. If you are watching and you're looking for horror movies to watch and you're claustrophobic, that one's going to be tough for you because there's a lot of scenes where it's in a like a tube where it doesn't look like the person and she's a small person. So this thing must be really tight. So if you're claustrophobic, Crawl or Die is a tough one to watch, but it's definitely one. It's different than most.
It's kind of on the line of like Alien. It has alien vibes, and which is not a bad thing. I'm just poking around on Bloody Disgusting just to see if there's any news. And it says that Netflix is promising Squid Game season 2 will premiere this year. So that's good.
What they have something with Squid Game like a
They do. I watched it and it's great. It's oh, I have a short film on you called The Noise. You guys should check it out. Yeah, shoot us a link. Is it up to watch? Leland Lewitt says he has a short film.
No, always
it's called The Noise.
Okay.
Yeah, if it's up, if there's any way we can check it out, I would love to check it out.
And then we can let everybody else who's ever watching or listening or whatever definitely check it out as well.
Yeah,
because I know a lot of the stuff that Tyler was in, some of it's still in like the
circuit,
circuit. So I was looking for it on like YouTube just to check it out, and there was nowhere there. Then I looked and I went on, did a little digging in IMDb. It's like, oh, still in they just won awards for so and so for so
yeah. So he's saying that it's on his YouTube. So just search for Leland Lewitt. It's LELAND space LEWIT, because we have listeners that'll listen to this a week from now. So go to Leland Lewitt on YouTube and check out his short film called The Noise. I'll do that after the show. That sounds good. But yeah, so Squid Game, it's basically like Road Rules, the challenge. It's like that kind of thing where they get real people and they have to do the Squid Game
challenges or whatever
challenges, but they don't get murdered for real. But it's it's really good. I watched the whole thing. There's people that you like. There's so many people at the start. You get to see these people later on in the show. I'm like, I have no idea who this person is. They've been there the whole time. I've never even seen this person before. You know, there's like a son and his mom are part of it. There's these other dudes that are just trying to help everybody, and some people are just, I don't care. I want the money. And so there's some people that are. There's this one girl that I liked, and then there was like this really difficult challenge, and she was refusing to participate. And then she was upset that someone recommended her to be voted off. So then it was all of her friends against this older lady because she recommended that she be voted off because she didn't participate.
Yeah, sometimes I can't, like, especially like reality TV shows. It's a little bit too.
I'm just like, I would have just gone up to where she was and pushed her, is what I would have done. Remember in the first season of Squid Games, there was like it was like a long bridge, and they had to choose whether to go left or right. And if they chose in the wrong way, it would just collapse and it would fall to their death. It was that challenge. And she just didn't want to go. So she just stood there and people stood. So then she would follow the people that were successful, kind of deal. And but it was crazy. Sorry, go ahead. What were you saying?
Going through Facebook, one of our previous guests from a while ago, Ashley Marie Nunes, she was in All Through the House, that the Christmas horror movie. She's actually directing a short movie, which I talked to her like the end of last year, and she's like, I got a whole bunch of stuff coming, like going on. Do you mind reconnecting with me through the in the new year, which I have yet to do, but she has a movie called let me get the title for it. Final Girls Bloodbath. So she's directing that one. So as I speak, I should get in contact with her. But I remember that was that one show where we had like 15 different people on. I think Jessica Cameron was in England, and I think that was one of the most the most
guests we had at one time. Yeah.
So that movie, if you're into Christmas horror movies, look out All Through the House. That's another more independent title. So if you guys are, new here, we haven't had a sit down discussion in a while. So
yeah,
if you're new here and you're checking us out for the first time, usually what we try to do is to promote more. I mean, if we can get a bigger guest, that is awesome for sure. But most of the time it's us trying to help promote the more independent stuff, the stuff that you might not hear about.
Like back when we've had like people like Dee Wallace or like Kane Hodder on, the following week is like a first time filmmaker, so it's like we get like horror icons on, then the next day, the next week is like someone who's making their first film or something. So but we like that. We like to mix it up. Yeah.
And it's definitely opens our eyes to more stuff too. So if you're new here and you have suggestions, if there's a movie that like Leland just told us about his short that we should all check out. But if there's a movie that you guys think need more, recognition, you can always follow us. We'll mention our socials at the end and stuff, but you can always get in contact with us and, let us know that, you want to come on and talk, or there's a movie you guys should definitely check this movie out and stuff. So we don't really.
Speaking of movies you haven't heard of, sorry, this is a little, try to do a little segue. Scream Queen. It's a movie called Scream Queen. It's a Blu-ray review. Lost Linnea Quigley slasher. It was a movie that was just lost. I guess there's two that have been found. One of them was already released, and then this is the newest one. It's getting a Blu-ray release. It has gotten a Blu-ray release.
Sounds like a Vinegar Syndrome title.
Yeah, and then the other one was a film unearthed by Visual Vengeance. I don't know if that's a distribution company. From the photos, it looks like a like shot on VHS kind of thing. Let's see. I don't know. No, it doesn't look like Vinegar Syndrome. Yeah, it's that company I mentioned.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think that's pretty cool. Yeah, I love me some Linnea Quigley. I just watched a movie with Bill, or for a podcast that Bill and Scott do. They do like the schlocky like grindhouse movies and stuff, and there's one with Linda Blair, and Linnea Quigley's in it, and she is deaf in the movie, so she doesn't have a single line.
Savage Streets.
Yes, that movie was not very good.
No, and there was one scene that was very difficult to watch.
Yeah, well, there was one scene. Well, there was multiple scenes that I was just like, wow, Linda Blair is not a good actress. She just isn't a good actress.
Like, what the hell? It was on the bridge. I don't want to get someone ends up going over.
Yeah,
but yeah, that movie I was just like, I watched it and I'm just like,
I made some really bad comments about Linda Blair. I tend to do that. If I dislike an actor or an actress, I'll start just ragging on them because I know it'll never get to them. Like I used to make fun of Bela Lugosi all the time when we did Black and White Prey, and at this time, I don't know if it's because of all the drugs she was doing or whatever, but Linda Blair, who was supposed to be like a high school student, had some pretty awesome jowls at that time. So I was like, oh, she looks like Droopy Dog. So all of her lines like, no beer bother me, blah, blah, blah. Like she was just all the time. But yeah, the movie wasn't good. But Linnea Quigley's in it, so that
what's
was
it called? She was in Sorority Babes of the Slime Bowl Bolorama from Full Moon, and recently they just released Sorority Babes of the Slime Bowl Bolorama 2.
Oh, it really rolls off the tongue, doesn't it?
Yeah, so easily.
Yeah, I guess there's a movie called The Demonatrix. It's going to be coming out, and horror legend Doug Bradley joins the cast.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's
like another Hellraiser type.
Yeah,
because that's pretty much what Hellraiser was. It's like,
wait a minute, Bloody Disgusting has exclusively learned this week. Bradley joins Hannah Fierman, as well as indie horror icon Larry Fessenden from Jacob's Wife, Killer Flower Moon, and We're Still Here.
Jacob's Wife is good.
Yeah.
You ever seen that
one? Demonatrix tells a story of a dominatrix who unwillingly summons an incubus demon and joins forces with a priest to send it back to hell.
It looks like Paul Ragsdale and Angie are working on Only Fangs.
Oh, nice.
So
We should reach
they,
out
they
to
were,
we should reach out to these guys for
yeah,
Demon.
that'll work.
Yeah, just to talk, like,
Hannah. I mean, we could try to
we've
talk to Hannah.
we've talked to her before. And I guess there's a movie, Alice in Terrorland, puts a hard movie twist on a classic story this Valentine's Day. There's a trailer for it. Let me see if
You
it comes
could
on
pull
Valentine's
it.
Day. Well, yeah, it's on. Let me see if I can share. I'm gonna have to download it this way. Talk amongst yourselves, Tony. All you with it.
What's it called? I think it's
trying to
supposed to come out, or did come out. Did it come out already? Thanksgiving. Did
Yeah.
that come out to physical?
I don't know about physical. It was on streaming.
So people were talking about that one. Then I heard the one that I was actually interested in
Still haven't seen it.
was Night Swim. That's the one with Jason
Night
Blum
Swing.
and Swim. It's like a haunted pool. That
Okay.
one I was looking forward to when I heard it
Ooh,
sucked.
floaty.
And I heard it sucked, so I was kind of disappointed with that.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Who told
like
you it
usually
sucked?
it's like 50-50. Some of the people that, when we'll have conversations on TikTok, which most of the time their likes and dislikes kind of line up with mine. So there was like 3 people that said the exact same thing. It's kind of flat. There's jump scares galore, but when it isn't that, it's kind of flat. So I was like, it happens, but kind of had that feel of It Follows for me.
Yeah. I
Where
mean,
people were
it's
talking about
weird.
it.
Yeah, I'm still seeing a lot. Yeah. I keep seeing movies that are still just biting at that It Follows thing. It's like, all right, it's been long enough. I didn't like the movie to begin with.
Right, so
everybody
loves it.
Not me. All right. So Alice in Terrorland is uploading right now. It'll be done in a second. Then we can all watch it together. Sergio, it's time to go to the bathroom. I'm just kidding.
And of course, this year it would be actually. I heard they're coming out with a Steamboat Willie horror movie because Steamboat Willie.
I think there's a trailer for that too.
Is there?
I think so.
That the rights for that come up, and then of course, Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 2 is coming out because Tigger's rights came up, which is crazy. You would think that Disney would just pay whatever rights it was for these characters, but I guess they just don't give a crap anymore.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, Steamboat Willie is pretty much a character that kind of set the ground, set the ball rolling for Disney. But yeah, the Steamboat Willie, I don't know what you could do with that because it looks like it's a CG type deal from the picture. But then again, how many different AI pictures could be made and stuff, so you never know which is real and which isn't.
Yeah. I'm just scrubbing through to see if it looks like anything.
I picked up just because it was cheap. I picked up the Pet Cemetery Bloodlines or whatever.
Huh.
Someone was selling it for $5 on Whatnot, so I picked it up, and I haven't sat down to watch it, but I really didn't have too much high hopes going into it, but I was like, whatever. Cheap enough, let me get it. Also picked up this.
I think Steamboat Willie, I mean, the thing that got released is a trailer for the video game.
Okay. Because I thought it was supposed to be a movie, too.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm going to download it either way.
Here's the...
we can watch that.
I picked up this. It's the Bring It On horror movie. So, cheerleaders kill each other. for, I guess, a spot on the team. And then I recently picked up, where did I put it? I didn't realize how far they're into it, but I did pick up Creepshow Season 4 from Shudder.
I'm way behind. I have Shudder, and
So-
I've liked the seasons that they've had, and I'm way behind.
So I did not know. I saw it on. I was like, "Is that real?"
I think I
Yeah,
didn't.
yeah.
I think I haven't
was-
watched it since season 2.
Yeah, was it season 2 where Hannah Fearman had a short in there or an episode?
Maybe.
I know she had one, but I forget what season it was. But I was like, "Oh wow, I guess this show is really picking up if it has 4 seasons."
Well, yeah. I mean, people are going to watch it either way. All right. So once Return of Steamboat Willie is done uploading, we can watch Alice in Terrorland. We can talk about that a little bit.
Sounds good.
And then we can watch the Return of Steamboat Willie. And so, did she ever respond when you told her that it was live?
Yeah, she just said that she couldn't find anywhere. She was asking if we could do it a little bit later, and I said, "We're doing it live." I'm like,
Yeah, we could always do it.
It happens.
Yeah, we can reschedule. It happens. What about
Yeah.
Thanksgiving horror movie? Okay, good job, Serge. He's asking about that Thanksgiving movie. Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. It's on my Plex, so
I heard it's very gory. I heard it's a lot of beheading.
Mhm.
And I thought I'd hear a lot of bad stuff about it, but supposedly I've heard more good stuff than bad stuff. And
that's
then
the thing is,
exact
I heard
opposite, 'cause
bad
I
stuff
think it's a
when it was
blue.
in the theater. When it was in the theater and my dad wanted to see it, I heard nothing but bad things. Then as soon as it was out of the theater, I started hearing good things about it. I'm like, come on, people, hook a brother up.
Because that was Blumhouse too, right?
I think.
I think it was Blumhouse.
All right, so here's the trailer for Alice in Terrorland. It's only a minute long. And then we'll discuss it a small bit. And we'll be right back in about a minute.
Forget everything you think you know of her. Of young Alice and her adventure in Wonderland. Forget all of them. The Mad Hatter. The fat, sleek caterpillar. The Cheshire Ripper. The White Rabbit. Forget it all. For in every fairy tale, a witch must come.
Close your eyes and make a wish.
Let the game begin.
Doesn't
Okay.
look bad. It looks
It
interesting.
looks like one of those like psychological thrillers type deals.
Yeah. And
It's kinda
honestly, when a lot of those fairy tales were written and stuff like that, they were made to kind of scare you. And back
Yeah,
then,
what was it? The Grimm
Grimm's-
fairy tales, right?
Grimm's fairy tales. But yeah, they were made to almost scare the kids, and obviously things haven't changed. People are scared of different things now. But yeah, I don't know. It looks interesting. I would check that out.
Definitely.
I don't know if it's going to theaters or if it's going to what, but yeah. So what do you think? Do you think it looks interesting? Like, how many Alice in Wonderlands have they made? There's a lot out there.
It's all on the more childish side.
Yeah. Have you
It
ever
had-
seen
it-
the original black and white Alice in Wonderland? It's a silent movie.
No, I
That is
saw.
actually scary as hell to
can
watch.
imagine.
It just looks so creepy.
I've watched, of course, the Disney one. Then there was one with a lot of like singers,
Mhm.
and it actually had the Jabberwocky in it.
Yeah.
That one I saw. I saw the one with who was it? Kate Blanchett? Not Kate Blanchett. Kate Beckinsale was in
Okay.
one. Then of course you have like Through the Looking Glass and stuff. So most of the ones I saw were on the, the childish side. This
Yeah.
kind of has like a feel to like what Return to Oz was for Wizard of Oz,
Mhm.
This one kind of has like a darker feel to a kids movie, because Return to Oz was one of the scariest kids, quote unquote, movies that I think
Mhm.
I've ever seen. There was so many like um disturbing images and stuff in that movie. So this one kind of has that feel for me.
Yeah. I actually found the trailer for the one that's super creepy. Actually, wait a minute. There was one made in 1915 as well. Oof.
Wow. How
Yeah.
long would it? Wow, that's a lot of
I don't know if
stories.
it's like in real places, like there's a real body of water in it. It's that one's silent. I don't know if this one's silent, but this one is scary too.
Especially back in the day when they tried to like dress people up in those days, just in black and white.
Yeah.
They all look
Well,
creepy as shit.
well, that's the thing is when you look at even movies that are like iconic, like the fact that the lion costume in Wizard of Oz is really the skin of a lion.
Mm.
Like that's ridiculous. Like the dude was like sweating to death, like as he was making the movie because it was so hot, because it was legitimately a skin of a lion. But
Didn't they have like a documentary about the whole behind the scenes of Alice in Wonderland?
yeah,
Not Alice in Wonderland, of Wizard
Wizard
of
of
Oz.
how's it doing that?
Actually, I think it's. Which one was it? It's a documentary on Shudder. I think that had.
Oh, was it like one of those cursed films kind of thing?
Yeah, but a 5-part documentary, most cursed films, Poltergeist, Omen. It was one of those where it has like 5 or 6 different stories on it.
Mm-hmm.
War. Which one am I thinking of?
I don't know, but there's a lot out there. I not that long ago watched Return to Oz, and it doesn't really hold up that well.
I don't know. I think it's still creepy as shit. The Wheelers.
Oh, it is. It's some of the effects and stuff don't really hold up.
Well, definitely not.
Yeah,
I mean, that was
at the end of the
80.
day, a lot. Was that? Yeah, it was.
What was
what's
it?
her face?
80 Feruza Bulk.
Yeah, when she was a kid.
I got the Blu-ray, so it kind of they updated it a little bit. So, but
Like
definitely
stuff
it's
like
not the greatest of movie, but
yeah, but it's still very strange.
100%.
All right, I grabbed the trailer for the 1933 one. I don't know if this is the silent movie one or not, but it still looks creepy. So we might as well just watch that and just scare the hell out of Sergio. This is what people used to look like in real life, Serge. Give me a second, it's uploading. Terrified while you wait.
Supposedly they're talking about making a Terrified 2.
Terrified too? Really?
Terrified, yeah.
Huh. Well,
was,
that the next movie, the last movie that dude made was pretty awesome as well.
That was that recent one.
Yeah, was it When Evil Lurks or something like that?
Mm.
Anyways, here's the 1 minute and 50-second trailer from Alice in Wonderland 1933, and it is terrifying in my opinion. Here we go.
Called special shoot trailers, such previews of coming attractions became short films in their own right. This 1933 preview has a specially written song not used in the movie instead of the usual trailer narration.
Did you ever see an oyster walk? Did you ever hear a turtle talk? Did you ever see a caterpillar puffing on a pipe? Or a mouse with a sail on the tip of its tail? Certain little girl once did, and she got into a hole, poor kid. Yeah, she got into a hole of a funny old bunny, and down, down, down she slid. Of course you understand, the girl was Alice, and little Alice, thrilled she could be. The place was Wonderland, where even rabbits have human habits, the land of Tweedledum and Tweedledee. In the kitchen was an ugly cook, and a duchess with an ugly look. And the duchess had a baby that was turned into a pig, and the cook was a bear when she flung kitchenware. Alice even saw their queen, but she didn't even dare to call. If you whispered when the queen made a ruling, no fooling, she'd have your head chopped off. But ever was a scene so topsy-turvy, but she was nervy and didn't even scream. But she was made a queen and had a palace, and little Alice awoke and found a Wonderland a dream.
I think it's creepy.
Yeah, that's nightmare fuel for sure.
The one thing that I thought was the creepiest in that trailer was like there was like a thing singing on a chair, and it was like obviously just a person with their head coming through the chair talking. I thought that was creepy. But
I thought the one scene with the white rabbit, because I've seen that thing before.
Yeah, I'm curious about the 1915 one. The
maybe
full
that's
movie.
the one that was.
I want to
that
one.
the,
I mean, I want to be like
maybe
what
that was
I don't know.
because it looked like this one had speaking, so maybe the other one was the quiet or silent movie.
I saw it like on like a PBS channel one night or something, and I was like, "Oh my god! Like, why are they showing this? I just want to watch Antiques Roadshow."
Because it's definitely one of those things where like the guy's voice sounded like Tiny Tim. Like,
oh yeah,
tiptoe through the river, and freaking like that's just. Especially in the 2000s, they had those creepy fucking songs playing in the background of every horror movie that you had. It was just that that song in the background. Something was going to happen. I could just imagine like,
right in your face. Yeah,
I could just imagine them getting like rid of those costumes, like just in one area, and then it goes abandoned, and then someone finds that shit.
And next thing you know,
like,
you got, what is that friggin' movie?
Willy's Wonderland,
something like that, or the
Banana Splits movie.
Yeah.
Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yes. Yeah. But anyways, we have the Return of Steamboat Willie, which I think it's a trailer or a teaser for the video game. But let's check that out real quick.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of games that are kind of similar to that style.
It's crazy. Like, imagine like when we were younger.
Yeah.
Or like, come 2024, these games will look like it's a freaking movie or like.
It was like PlayStation 3 I was playing like Grand Theft Auto or something, and my wife thought it was like a TV show. And you look at it now, and I'm like, it doesn't look anything like a TV show, it's just like, but back then it seemed like it. I'm like, it's just gonna get better. I can remember getting a Angels in the chat. He didn't come on because he sent me a picture of his office. He's gutting it. He's like redoing everything. So,
hey, get started with stuff.
Yeah. So Serge is asking what, where's the guest? She lost her internet, so she can't come on. So we're going to reschedule with her. But you can go check her out. If you go to the show notes, she's on Instagram. She's on TikTok. She's got quite a following on both. I think our TikTok, she's got like 60 something thousand.
Something like that.
And on her Instagram, she's got 30 something thousand. She's verified on that as well. So yeah, go check her out on that. She does a lot of like modeling, stuff like that. There's no reason to apologize, Serge. That's why we're just talking. We're just shooting the poop. But yeah, either way. And also too, for the audio listeners, I'm going to leave her links in the show notes as well. So you can go check out that stuff. And I also had the Instagram for the movie in there as well. But yeah, she'll be out.
The other video game that I was excited for because it looks crazy is the Killer Clowns from Outer Space video game. That looks awesome.
Oh, I knew it was coming out. The thing with me is I don't. My newest system is either whichever is newest, the Wii U or the PlayStation 3. Actually, I like handheld emulators because I'm a that guy, and I bought a new one with money that I got from Christmas. It's a Pow Kitty is the brand, but the reason I even though I already have one, that's really good. I wanted this one because the screen is square. It's like perfectly square. Is
that the one with all the things preloaded?
It comes with a bunch of games, but I put my own games on it. I loaded it up. So like all your classic stuff, it's going to fill the screen. Like all of your old school stuff, it's going to look perfect. And like when you have them in like one of the newer ones, like let's say this one, the Retroid Pocket 2 Plus, when you play the old school games, it's going to have a bar on the top and bottom or on the sides or whatever. So this way, when you're playing the old school, and most of the games I play are the old school games. But this has a couple other positive things. I have, so you can play, what is it? Nintendo DS, which has the two screens, right?
Yeah, I believe so. The one on top, one's like a drawing thing. And
right. So on this one, you can play those games, and all you have to do is hit the R2 button. You can swap between the screens, because most of the time you don't need the second screen at the bottom, because this is also not like touchscreen. So I've been playing the new Super Mario Brothers that came out for that way back in the day. It's awesome. It's so good. I'm just getting into a lot of Game Boy Advance stuff recently, but I can play all the way up to and including like Dreamcast, and I can play like N64, stuff like that. So it's not like super powered. There's newer ones now that you can play up to PlayStation 2. But
I think my brother got something off of TikTok that's like how many different brands on there, but it's all preloaded where it's like all the Super Nintendo, all the Sega, I think
this was like that. Most of the newer stuff I put on there, but it can play PlayStation Portable on here as well. So there's a lot of PlayStation Portable games that are pretty awesome, you know. Then there's a thing called Pico 8, which I enjoy. You don't have to, but you can pay a one-time thing. It's like $15. It's free to use, but it's independent video game makers that make it's 8-bit or 16-bit is the limit on Pico 8. It might be 8-bit because Pico 8. And they make independent video games, and they put them up there for people to play. So when you're connected to Wi-Fi, you have full access to everything. You can download the carts, right? They're very small. But I think there's a couple of games that went on to be released on Steam and stuff like that started on Pico 8. And this is it's all their games are perfectly square. So it's perfect for this. So it's full screen, bright. It's awesome. I love it. The only thing I wish this was better was battery life isn't great. But whatever.
That's what I heard. My brother said he's always charging his shit.
Yeah, but when I play it for a while, and I play it till it dies in my hand, and then that's it. But I like it. It with shipping. I mean, I bought it off Amazon. It was like $99.
With all that, I mean, you can't get like 2 games nowadays for $99.
Yeah, there's
So.
games on here that if I was to buy the physical copy of, I would be bankrupt. Like games I'll never play, but like Little Samson is like one of the most valuable like Nintendo games ever, and it's on there. But just games I like. There's a game I'm sure you remember, but I'm a fan of a comic book called Scud the Disposable Assassin. There was a game made for the Sega Saturn on that, and can never find it anywhere. I don't have a Sega Saturn, whatever. It's on here. So I can now play the Scud the Disposable Assassin game. It's not very good, but it's there.
Is that the one where it's like a Jello, like a no? I'm thinking of something different.
Yeah, it's I don't know. But it's like a side-scrolling shooter. But I love me some Scud, and I'm debating because I've been selling some stuff. I have a Scud action figure on the wall that I got for like $35 years ago, and it's selling for a lot. It's a variant. But it's where the original one sells for more. I want the original one. I don't want the variant. But I've had that's all they had was the variant.
That's weird. Usually it's the opposite way around, where the variant is the more
completely clear. Well, it's like translucent yellow is what it is.
Okay.
But yeah, it's crazy. Like this toy company, they got the rights to make toys like the figures for the old comic book, The Max, and
I remember that.
So, in the Max, they had these little things called Is that were in the Max. So all the figures that came out through this toy line come with an Is. So this Scud had nothing to do with anything to do with the Max, but he comes with a translucent yellow Is. But
that's funny.
Yeah, I want to sell it, but I don't want to sell it because then I won't have it.
It's one of those things where that's the problem with being a collector. It's just like
I have a signed copy of I have a signed like comic book from Rob Schraub for Scud. I have the whole shebang, like so the whole thing, including drywall in there. I have the action figure, but that's all I have for Scud stuff.
Yeah.
And I have all the digital comics, so I'm never going to open the whole shebang. I'm never going to open it because I don't want to mess up the spine. But hey, whatever. Scud's a good time if you like comics. It's ridiculous. One of the writers for Scud the Disposable Assassin was Dan Harmon, aka one of the creators of Rick and Morty. And Rob Schraub, who was the creator of Scud, does a ton of voices on Rick and Morty. Yeah. And it's weird. I think I told Angel when I bought it from him, he just sent it from his home address. I'm like, I looked it up. I'm like, he's got a nice house, but why is he giving everyone his home address? This is crazy.
Was this before he was like big?
No, this was 2 years ago, maybe. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep. But anyways, I wouldn't do anything with that. So it's 10 o'clock. Time to roll things up and throw them away in the trash. But so that's the end of the show, guys. Guys being me and Tony. And whoever, Angel, Sergio, whoever else is in the chat, we apologize. No guest. But they'll be back on at another time. Meanwhile, go follow her on her Instagram and her Twitter. Not Twitter. Her Instagram and her TikTok. I think it's the same. It's Tyler.
Pretty close.
Yeah, and it's where their last name is Charly, but add an extra Y. So it's her first name and last name together, add an extra Y. But if you go to the notes and everything, the links are right in there. But yeah, maybe by the time she comes on, maybe they'll have a trailer or something. That'd be cool. But
that's the one thing.
Yeah. So where can people follow you, sir?
You can follow me on Tony Has Nine Fingers on YouTube, where I do movie reviews, unboxings, anything movie related. I'll be on there. Tony Has Nine Fingers on X. I don't use it. Tony Has Nine Fingers on TikTok, which is my fastest growing. I just hit 24,000 followers on that road to 25. So if you're not following me on there, check me there. Tony's Movies on Instagram, where I show off the movies behind me. And of course, here most Tuesdays, whether we have an awesome guest or whether it's just, horror movie chat or, anything, with us, it's always all over the place. So you never know
Yeah.
what goes on at any
Sometimes,
given
yeah,
time.
sometimes
So,
we don't know that we don't have a guest until the show's already started. So it happens, but it's you know, we can work around it. So it's a thing. So, but anyways, for myself, just a knuckle on Instagram. Besides doing this show with the ever so lovely Tony Has Nine Fingers, I also do that strange show. I know we're going to be coming back at some point, not sure when. But yeah, I'm part of that show as well. And also the Re-Education of Nancy Ann Ritter. We just put out the Hills Have Eyes episode. We're going to be recording a few coming up. I know we're going to be doing Dead Alive, and we're going to be doing Return of the Living Dead. Because Linnea Quigley Linnea Quigley was in Silent Night, Deadly Night. I'm like, oh yeah, she's awesome. She's been in so many other movies that I love. And she's like, oh, what would you say your favorite? I'm like, probably Return of the Living Dead.
because she's always naked.
Yeah, she's fully naked in it. And she, of course, Nars is like, oh, really? Let's watch that one. I'm like, okay. so yeah, we'll be watching that one as well. But yeah, go check that out. And thanks for watching.
Oh yeah, and before I just want to shout out. We've actually had them two on. We had Stephen Lackey and Dustin. They did a few movies. We had them on. They're doing something along the lines of a podcast on TikTok where they do lives and they'll bring on a guest. So they started, I guess, 2 weeks ago. And tonight's guest is actually someone who we like a lot, Jamie Hill.
Oh, nice.
So
nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, they're going to be interviewing her tonight. I'm like, oh, that's really cool.
Yeah. Ask them how they do it on TikTok.
Well, they do it live. They do it live through TikTok.
But how? Oh, okay.
It's not like they take from StreamYard to there. It's just them using their TikToks because they have enough to go live.
Figure it out someday.
Yeah.
Anyways, thanks for watching / listening, and have a good night. Goodbye.